There's no doubt that the Dallas Cowboys have some of the most talented players in the league. However, the team has fallen short of the Super Bowl after winning 12 games in 3 consecutive seasons, has had a questionable offseason, and fans are becoming concerned that the team could be on the decline. The Cowboys lost a large handful of talented roster players at various positions to free agency. The most significant player they lost is their all-pro left tackle, Tyron Smith, who signed a contract with the New York Jets. Tyron Smith has been an anchor on the Cowboys' top-tier offensive line for over a decade, but after suffering a few injuries, the team opted not to re-sign him and free up cap space. But it's not just Smith that the team lost this offseason. The Cowboys also lost Stephon Gilmore, a star cornerback who remains a free agent, as well as Tony Pollard, the team's former starting running back. Tyler Biadasz, their starting center, Michael Gallup, a starting receiver, amongst other role players. Leighton Vander Esch, a former All-Pro linebacker, was also forced to retire due to a neck injury. With all the holes in their roster, the Cowboys are going to be heavily reliant on cheap contracts and rookies to keep the team competitive. But the Cowboys didn't entirely sit on their hands and do nothing all offseason. The organization did bring in Mike Zimmer to coordinate their defense, as well as linebacker Eric Kendricks and running back Ezekiel Elliott back for another stint to play running back. The Kendricks signing is somewhat compelling since the veteran linebacker spent his best seasons in the NFL playing for Mike Zimmer, so he has a strong comprehension of his system. But still, the losses that the team has endured on paper significantly outweigh the team's gains. Cap management is an obvious reason why the Cowboys have let so many players leave for new organizations, as the Cowboys will need to extend some of the best players they currently have in the near future. But stability is far from something present in the organization right now. The Cowboys' 3 best players, Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, and Micah Parsons, are all eligible for contract extensions, but none have been agreed upon yet. In a previous video, we discussed how the Lions have locked up their coaching staff and stars, which has given their franchise continuity and a foundation for success. The Cowboys, however, haven't managed to do the same with their top guns. Instead, by playing hardball with their trio of stars, they risk losing them, or at the very least, overpaying them. Prescott, who's been scrutinized for his inability to win in the playoffs, is coming off the best season of his career and was an MVP candidate. While it may be argued whether or not he's a top 5 player at his position, he's clearly the team's best option for the foreseeable future, and by not extending him or franchise tagging him, the Cowboys risk exposing him to free agency next summer. CeeDee Lamb hasn't been extended either and was one of the top wideouts in the entire league last season. The team can still use the franchise tag on him, but it could be argued that a long-term extension would be a much better move considering his value to the team. By not agreeing to terms yet, they definitely will have to pay him more considering the magnitude of Justin Jefferson and Amon-Ra St. Brown's extensions they signed already this summer. Micah Parsons, arguably the most valuable defensive weapon in the NFL, will soon be in the same position. The longer they wait to extend him, the more money they'll likely have to spend. It's not just the players that are in limbo. They've even put their head coach Mike McCarthy in the same position. Reports indicate that McCarthy is growing increasingly frustrated by owner Jerry Jones' hands-on approach and short leash he's given the coach that's had a great relationship with his players and has led Dallas to 3 straight 12-win seasons. By not extending McCarthy, they're playing out a season in which the stars and coach have no security and will be distracted as the season goes on. This all-in on next year approach by Jerry Jones is putting the organization in a vulnerable spot. By strong-arming his players and coaching staff, he risks losing them for nothing. These guys aren't easily replaceable either. Yes, the playoff shortcomings that the team has endured have been frustrating, but there's no denying they have loads of talent and are one of the few teams that could conceivably win. Other teams would be envious of the Cowboys' current position, yet Jerry Jones is dividing the team and risking their future by not negotiating with the assets he currently holds that make the Cowboys a competitive team. We're not saying that the Cowboys won't be a winning team this season. Their cap-related moves are arguably necessary in order to have the flexibility to re-sign their pending free agents to the contracts they deserve, but with unproven prospects at various positions expected to come in and play major roles, such as 2 rookies on the offensive line, one of those players is their most recent first-round pick, Tyler Guyton. Guyton's a star tackle, or at least he was in college. The 23-year-old coming out of Oklahoma State has loads of potential. But while less heralded, the left tackle position is incredibly difficult to play and is one of the most important positions on the entire field. Guyton will be expected to protect Prescott's blind side against some of the most dangerous rushers in the world. The position has a steep learning curve, and the Cowboys will be betting on Guyton to play a major role right away. Cowboys have had plenty of success with high draft picks in recent years, so there's reason for optimism. But they haven't always hit the jackpot. Last season's first-rounder, Mazi Smith, has yet to prove himself as a starter for Dallas, and if Guyton develops similarly, the team could be in serious trouble. The high-risk, high-demand approach from Jerry Jones could change the team's trajectory. There's a famous quote that says, "If it ain't broke, why fix it?" Jerry Jones clearly doesn't see this as the case. It could be argued that the Cowboys have been right on the brink of a title and are still on the up and up. Yet ownership is risking team chemistry, but playing the waiting game and moving on from a lot of guys that helped the team reach this level. In our opinion, Jerry Jones needs to act fast in order to right the ship. The longer he waits, he risks frustrating his core and coaching staff. But we want to know what you guys think. Is Jerry Jones' wait-and-see approach a tactic that'll get the best out of his guys? Or is it doom and gloom ahead for the boys in blue? And what can we expect from the offensive line and rushing attack after the recent overhaul this offseason? Let us know in the comments section, and if you haven't yet, don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more of our sports news and insights. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.